LNG versus RNG. RNG banning out the Camille and wow, actually absolutely banning out the top lane, and not sure with the set pick. Not sure what's with the popularity of the set pick, honestly, coming out from RNG. RNG really emphasizing it, banning it, if not picking it. As LNG go for Tarzan's most played jungler this split in that Xin Zhao while locking in the Knot as well. Let's see what RNG do here. Of course, the Xin Zhao could as well be a pick to just take the Karma Xin Zhao combo away. That's extremely deadly mid-jungle combo coming out. Crying on a supportive jungler, I think, is not terribly a bad thing. He hasn't really been the most mechanically insane champion, but you don't need only a team of superstars. Anyways, so the Nocturne actually manages to sneak through. The second most banned champion in the entirety of the LPL somehow makes his way through the banning phase. In fact, onto the second round of blue side picks. Interesting coming in here from, I guess Ali isn't really a Nocturne player, as the Ezreal comes in as well. It looks like RNG have a very comfortable, I mean, they have basically two flexes and an Ezreal pick. What does that even mean to the rest of us, I suppose? LNG, I would really like the Kai'Sa coming in here. I love LPL Kai'Sa, but Varus I suppose would be fine too. LPL Kai'Sa is more fun though. Come on, show us LPL Kai'Sa. Come on, Gwen. Okay, sure, I guess. Gwen comes in. I mean, she's too good of a champion not to, I suppose. Don't ban guys. Okay, let's see what we're gonna get. Let's see what we're gonna get from bans here. LNG, there's who knows what there's to ban. You could ban supports, I suppose, and just try and force this Karma into the support pick. You could ban. I wouldn't ban any mid laners if I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I think both LNG and RNG. There's okay. So LNG star player by far is Tarzan. Light is playing. Light and Iwandi doing pretty good also in the bot lane. Definitely doing better than Gala and Ming in game one. But Tarzan is really where it's at now. The Lucian pick that was so effective in game 1 is still available. I really don't think a Lucian pick would be terrible in LNG's draft. Just put Lucian in the mid lane. Fourth pick Lucian I think would be fantastic as LNG ban out the Wukong now. RNG, they just have so much flexibility in their composition. I really don't know what they want to go for. What would be premium optimum thing to go for here? LNG don't have the greatest engage. Really, the engage is a flash hook coming in from I want these not. RNG with the Lucian ban is to be expected. Even they saw how annoying that Lucian was in the mid lane. He was practically gifted a free lane as well as a Kalista pick comes in for LNG, looking to be as aggressive as possible and probably looking to shut this game out as soon as possible. So I like what LNG have here. They have a dive composition playing through the bot side, plain and simple. I don't even need to see their last pick. Now, what would round it out? That's the real question. Maybe a Galio pick. Galio wouldn't be bad, but it'd be too much of a commitment, I think. You need some mid priority. Zoe wouldn't be bad here. RNG opting for the Rumble. They have a bit of a dive composition themselves, which means this is probably going to be a mid laner we say picked here as Viego comes in. Dive versus dive, but a bit of a team fight reset going on the side of RNG. What will we see in the mid lane here? Irelia? Wow. Both teams are just strapping up to just sprint at each other, to just Olympic pool it at each other. LeBlanc pick here, I think it's not bad. You do need some AP damage, I suppose, aside from the Gwen. Nice little rounded out composition. There's really nothing much to say, ladies and gentlemen. This is a double dive composition coming in from LNG and RNG. LNG a bit more committed considering the fact that Ezreal has that bit of safety and Ming on the Enchanter support won't be able to really dive in. Will be able to help his team jump in as well. And I feel like that Karma pick was a bit of a bait because if this was a Leona, if this was a Alistar, you would feel so much better if you're RNG. Alistar especially. Knock away the Xin Zhao, knock away the Gwen, knock away the LeBlanc, you know? Leona might be a bit harder for you to get Solar Flare onto the Gwen as well as the LeBlanc, I suppose, and maybe even Light. But a Flash shield of Daybreak right into the face of the carries, I think is not something you can look down on if you are any AD carry, regardless of how mobile you are. Even though Kalista, you can arguably say at 1 and 2 items, is the most mobile AD carry of all time. Really, it's like a Lucian on crack. It's like an Earth Lucian is pretty much the only thing that can outmaneuver a Kalista at 2 items, I think. Now RNG looking a little dazed as Xiaohu and Wei just having a little bit of a conversation. He's like, should I help out these guys or should I camp you? And if I want to be completely honest, looking at the composition, I think I don't even know. It's like an Ezreal on one side and a Nocturne on the other side. RNG not really playing with any particularly dominant lane. Let's just see what happens, I suppose. It looks like this is going to be a scale to the mid-game kind of game as well for RNG. Meanwhile, LNG, they can really turn on the pressure around the mid-game as well. Light and Iwandi do have the potential, however, of going big in the early game. As we saw, Iwandi able to just hit the death sentences necessary. The thing is that Enchanted supports are quite hard to play in pro play because just the aggression that engaged supports have that they provide is just so lethal. It's just so strong. You like as an enchanted support, you feel kind of powerless at times. If your opponent plays it well, you're set. And you're kind of reliant on your AD carry. You can do it with Gala. Now, don't get me wrong, Gala is still my favorite AD carry to watch in the entirety of the LPL, but it's getting kind of close. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not at all gonna lie to you, Chief. It's getting really kind of close because there's some pretty fantastic Kai'Sa plays coming in, and LPL Kai'Sa is just the love of my life at this point in time. Now let's see how it goes. There's some deep vision in the side of RNG's base, and there's some decent deep vision on the side of LNG. Vision is definitely in favor of LNG, however, as Tarzan gets himself a leashless start. Meanwhile, the bot lane of RNG does opt to help Wei out in the jungle, starting with the red buff instead of the Raptors this time. The Vision does get swept out. So, looking at both these teams, like I said, LNG obviously playing towards the bottom side. So I think it's kind of interesting that RNG are opting for the bot side start. Looks like they want to try and impact this top side as much as possible. A little bit of poke coming out, and that's of course the way you win as an enchanter support or a poke support against an engaged support, as Gala forced to flash already at level 1. Catastrophe continues to unfold. So for some reason this split, Ming and Gala seem a little bit out of sync compared to what they were, as Ale just giving Xiaohu a taste of his own medicine from game 1. I mean, I really don't know what Wei can do, as Wei going for a level 2 gank on this extremely aggressive bottom lane. There's no one in the position. Double teleport is available, however. But it looks like Wei realizes there's no way that they can fall for this kind of trick. And now his jungle pathing is going to be quite uncomfortable. Tarzan has been spotted out on this ward dropped by Crying in the mid lane. With his Umbro Glaives, will be able to push the wave at times even faster than Icon. And Icon with his distortion actually will just help Crying to push the wave, because Crying will have his spell shield up and will be able to just get a bunch of additional attack speed, which in turn will lead to more Umbral Blades coming out. Now Tarzan has arrived at the bottom side of the map, and Iwandi's in the area as well, just to keep his junglers safe, just in case Wei for some reason was in the bot side river. But that does not look to be the case. Tarzan so far with his Glacial Frozen Fist, I'm not sure what it's called, with his Frozen Fist has proven to be an exceptional Xin Zhao. The game plan of LNG really is playing through your jungler. In pro play, that's just how it is. I feel like teams are very much, in the early game at least, carried almost entirely by the junglers, depending of course on who the jungler is and what their pick is. And on this Xin Zhao, Tarzan is in an optimum position given the composition that's been drafted, honestly, to just absolutely start snowballing the game. Now, I was talking too much, not paying enough attention. I'm not quite sure what the state is in the bot lane of the wave, because Tarzan, I mean, he doesn't seem to be motioning towards a dive. Looks like he just wants to clear, full clear. And despite that little detour that Wei took in the beginning of the game, Gala jumping forward with his Arcane Shift, actually getting damage onto Light, as Iwandi gets rooted out by the binding. Now, I was going to say that in spite of the little detour that Wei took, he's actually matching in terms of XP and CS. Now Tarzan is coming towards the bot side. Looks like LNG are going to want to try and stack this wave as much as possible, but Gala and Ming doing a good job just clearing it out. They recognize as well the fact that Tarzan could be in the area. Need to be careful, because Iwandi does have flash, can use the flash and his passive to just root up Ming or Gala, whoever steps forward to aggressively. Remember, Gala does not have flash, and that's why they are attacking him, not only based on the fact that Light is their strong point at this point of the game, even though Gwen is winning up there too, as the anchor toss goes wide, and that probably signals the end of this little attempt, as Tarzan's channeling his teleport back back to the base. Xiaohu getting absolutely bullied in the top lane, as Wei arrives down here too, but 3v3, I'm pretty sure LNG are completely at an advantage here. Iwandi's gonna have one good hook available as the poke continues to come out. Ming, if he steps anywhere closer to that bush, he will get absolutely eviscerated by LNG, as Tarzan, after wasting a lot of time, does eventually channel his recall and will continue on with the farming. Wei is in the area as well, probably looking for Tarzan, wondering where in the hell he is. Just missed him by a few seconds as RNG's bot lane wisely, through good macro decisions, dodged a catastrophe. Now looks like with the wave having been stacked, RNG are just going to try and pressure the bot lane of LNG off. Now double teleports are available for both teams. This could explode very quickly into a sudden team fight, as Tarzan making his way down here as well. They won't have anything to farm except his Grump, which is coming off of cooldown soon. Really wants to be towards the top side, I do believe. Now Xiaohu, despite being absolutely abused up in the top lane, has managed to keep up in farm and is completely equal in terms of gold, CS, items, experience, everything. Now teleport was used there, so if there is a fight for a dragon, LNG are going to have a clear advantage. Not that RNG have any business contesting a dragon attempt right now, given the scariness that is LNG's bot lane. Whoo! Let's see what goes on here. As a little scuffle goes on between Ale and Xiaohu, ultimates coming out from both players, one used aggressively, one used passively. Some pings going down on the bot side for RNG, as Wei has will hit level 6 in I think 3 camps. I think 48 is not enough anymore. Hard to say, as Wei does get a little bit of a leash for the Scuttle Crab from Ming. He's now at 44 CS. I'm pretty sure he needs 2 more camps. I think he needs 2 more camps. So red buff is not going to be enough, if I'm not mistaken, because they did nerf the jungle XP a little bit. Tarzan has fallen a little bit behind because of the amount of time he spent just bot lane looking for an opportunity, but really nothing was. I mean, sometimes that happens when you go fishing, right? Sometimes you dangle your bait in there for as long as you can and you just don't get anything for the entire day. In fact, yep, Wei's at 48 CS now, is still not level 6. Will be 6, however, towards bottom lane after Krugs. Now, LNG did a better job targeting bot lane in game 1. Let's see what happens in game 2. RNG so far have been on the ball. Wei has been there for the counter gank, even though the gank didn't actually happen, and LNG have not been able to turn on the pressure. Gala's flash is off cooldown now yet again, as Wei is here. Teleports are still available for both the solo laners of LNG, so a response here is very likely if an attempted dive comes in, but they don't want Iwandi, they actually want light more than Iwandi, so Iwandi being under tower is not enough to entice them in for a attempted dive, I suppose. As the continuous trading between the two newest champions of the game, the champions that LEC pros have the biggest problems with apparently, from the LEC pop quiz that I just watched. It's pretty hilarious, by the way. Love their content. As it looks like LNG are rotating up their bot lane past Dragon into Rift Herald as soon as it spawns. In fact, it's only been alive for 5 seconds now. RNG, again, horribly out of position, will be forced to give this up if they want to not lose too much, as Ali just steps forward wanting to shred the beautiful locks off of the Viego, and it looks like the rotation up towards mid from bot lane is not even necessary, but a show of strength is always good, I suppose, as Xiao is just being jumped onto here. Ale attempting a tower dive, does have TP and flash instead of ignite, and as a result of his over-aggression, is going to be absolutely punished. Does have his W, which is actually saving him from the first part of the paranoia, but it's not going to save him from too much ice. Crying does have flash. Yep, there we go. And there's no getting away from your nightmares, I suppose. It's Ali going extremely deep. I think he's had enough of Xiaohu using Spectral Maw to to just run away. But as a result now, LNG do find their bot lane. Never mind, LNG turning on the pressure, Wei getting absolutely annihilated by both Icon and Iwandi. Tarzan was in the area as well. Crying's teleport up towards the top side means that LNG have man advantage towards the bot side, and as a result, secure themselves the free dragon. Looking at the items now, Icon actually managing to acquire himself a bit of a CS lead, as has Xiaohu, I suppose, off of Ale's tad bit of episode of over-aggression. In fact, Gala picking himself up a bit of a gold lead as well, probably from that 2 tower plates he's managed to secure along with Ming. Yeah, this fight, yeah, you see that Spectral Maw backwards, even using his ultimate backwards. Xiaohu, very comfortable position, just jumping around the tower, playing ring around the rosies. In comes the teleport, and immediately you see LNG, after Rift Herald falls, they just start rotating away from top lane, straight down towards bot lane. RNG a little bit greedy there from them, actually going for 2 plays at the same time after they saw Rift Herald fall. So I think they expected Tarzan to just channel his recall and back off, come from base, but he just cuts across mid lane. In fact, they should be in full vision of RNG. It's kind of odd that they were caught so terribly out of position. Quite greedy coming in there from RNG. Whew. Okay, let's see. Now, Crying is being zoned off of the wave, does have his spell shield available, but opts not to use it thanks the entirety of Icon's combo. Will have the sustain from his Umble Glaives available, but it looks like he's gonna have a bit of a hard time getting into contact with the wave. First Paranoia of the game was used at level 9, and it was towards topside. I actually forgot completely about the fact that they had a Paranoia available, and that actually has not been used at all. So far, Crying has been absolutely locked into the lane. Icon picking himself up a bit of a gold lead over Crying from the gold he picked up from his jungler. From the jungle kill, sorry. As Wave finds himself towards bot side, Tarzan is coming as well. Teleport is available from Icon, but no one from RNG has teleport as well. So this could be a very, very surprising and explosive fight coming in here. Ping is coming for the wave. It looks like LNG fully aware that a possible dive is imminent. Tarzan has arrived as RNG unable to force anything because of the Karma pick. Double-edged sword, I suppose. Because Karma has made it so that Iwandi couldn't go in whenever he pleased. He's managed to poke out Iwandi very well. So in terms of lane stability, Iwandi has been amazing. Now, in comes Tarzan and Iwandi. They are on a ward. Again, teleport is available from Icon as Wei steps out of the bush, tries to flambe. Light already chunked to a third HP. In comes the teleport from Icon. In comes the depth charge onto Ming. Tarzan jumping as well. Insects both away and Gala into the rest of his team. But it looks like it's going to be a free bunch of kills for LNG. As Gala does get rooted up, Icon left a little bit too dry. I think he's the one in the backs. And they did not know that. Thankfully, he can just control his clone to appear just like him, I suppose. Yep. Teleport was channeled. LNG do come out on top of that, nearly losing their AD carry as well as the support and even Icon at one point in time. But it looks like that doesn't matter as they are already a little bit hit. They are only 500 gold ahead, however. All things considered, RNG, in spite of not using the Nocturne out as often as they should, honestly, where can you go? Yeah, this shit is a terrible game for Nocturne, but where can you go, I suppose? So, aside from the fact they haven't been able to use the Nocturne ultimate, honestly, RNG are in a great position because the early aggression has been completely stymied from the side of LNG. RNG just parrying everything, and although they're going to lose a little bit of tower plating in the mid lane, they're not going to get too much more as Wei just turns on the afterburners, but it looks like Icon's just going to assassinate him completely. Last auto attack is not enough as Crying Sphere comes through, saving his jungler and even managing to save his mid tower. As in comes Iwandi, but Light is not in the area. Not quite sure what is going on here, as Wei just takes a quick trip, therapeutic trip into his own jungle to just sustain everything back to full HP. Crying, once he's able to touch the wave, is able to wave clear so incredibly effectively. As Dragon is spawning in a minute's time, it's going to be the next objective on the map. On LNG's strong side to kind of expect them to be in an advantage going into it, but let's see. It's a lot about the setup and how the team fight unfolds as Ming nearly turning the corner into Light trying to jump away with his passive is able to jump away from the enchanted Karma Q, as Iwandi just securing as much vision around as possible. Bot side vision actually is kind of heavily in favor of LNG, especially towards mid lane, as RNG's wards have been used defensively towards the top side, not wanting to allow Wei to get counter jungled by Tarzan. But so far, Tarzan has showed no interest. In fact, either team showed no interest whatsoever in this top lane, and the only equalizer we've seen so far has been kind of defensive coming in from Wei, where he got caught in the bot side river at Dragon entrance. Dragon is spawning in 10 seconds time. Looking at the items, Divine Sunder is available for Xiaohu as well as Teleport. Ale will have his as well. Crying needs to get a quick recall off before this fight starts, lest he gets completely one-shotted. The spell shield did come in, tanking up a Sigil, which is probably the reason that he is alive here. Icon, however, does not have Teleport. Very low on mana at half HP. This could be an opening that RNG needs, as the double recalls are coming out from the top lane and mid lane of RNG. Iwandi finds himself in a very unfortunate position, but Wei uses his equalizer onto one target, a quick anchor toss later, and he is completely safe. Xiaohu did not manage to get his recall off, but he does have a mythic item advantage over Ale. Ale needs to be careful. However, Ale also just needs to keep him busy and try and keep him up towards the top lane, not allow him to get his resets off as the Heartbreaker is used. This could be huge for the next fight as well, as Ale, good amount of pressure coming in as the teleports are going to be needed. Bot lane, RNG's bot lane is getting absolutely jumped 4v2 situation as Xiaohu's going to teleport into the midst of a 2v4 situation. Yet again, does not have the heartbreaker necessary. Is going to get bursted by Icon, nearly gets taken out. A heal comes in from Light in the last moment as Wei jumps in, and so does Crying. One by one, the RNG int train comes in, and LNG absolutely capitalizing, not losing a single member for an ace across the board. RNG, not at all the situation you want to be in right now, as it just utter catastrophe unfolds. Ale contributed to that fight massively. He jumped in onto Xiaohu, got him low, forced out his ultimate, and then when by the time Xiaohu arrived in that fight, he was in a 2v4 situation. And LNG, I wasn't really watching the minimap. I'm not sure how they got into position so much earlier than RNG was. They just forced their way into the bot lane, and it was just it was a 2v4 into a 2v4, into a 1v4, into a 1v4. Okay, here we go. The Flash ultimate coming in. Wei was around mid lane for God knows whatever reason. And at this point in time, this is just lost. You just don't teleport for this. But in comes Xiaohu's teleport. Crying pops the paranoia, but it's not able to fly in time because it wears out. Oh, absolute catastrophe. And then this heal coming in here from Light, flashing in to heal his mid laner, knows that they do not want to allow Viego to get his procs off of his passive. And at this point, Crying walks in and ints as well. Painful. It's painful. It's painful. It's painful. It's painful. It's absolutely painful. This is a catastrophe to witness, as Ali actually also managed to take top tower during the entire thing. Really, LNG getting everything in that exchange. Absolutely everything. 5 kills, 1 dragon, and first tower of the game. In fact, they're going to get Rift Herald as well. LNG are absolutely in control of this game. They are running ring around or rosies around RNG's head. There's nothing RNG seems to be able to do in this situation. And now that you are behind, you do have a little bit of team fight from Wei and Xiaohu. But Icon, so much mobility. Light, I mean, I guess you can kill him. I wonder how Xiaohu's Kalista mechanics are. Oh, it pains me to say. It looks like RNG are headed towards an 0-2 start in the summer season. Not at all the old dominating RNG that we have grown to know and love so much in the spring split. And I suppose the introduction of certain champions like this Gwen have been an absolute pain in the top lane. As the equalizer is dropped, but Ale does have his ultimate, does have his W as well. I think he can take this fight. I'm pretty sure this is an easy 1v2 for Ale, especially with his ultimate available as well. Aware of this, RNG back off very quickly as Icon tanks a Karma Q to the face, and despite not having any vision, Xiaohu seems to know where Icon is, as in comes the hook missing. Looks like RNG are going to attempt a 5v5 here, but this is not the time we want to fight. LNG are at their absolute peak right now as Gala gets flashed on by Icon with the distortion jumping in onto the backlines, is Crying as well as Xiaohu, but they just instantly get CC'd by the Nautilus, who was standing right next to Light, and catastrophe unfolds. Equalizer was not available, nor was it there, and LNG as a 5-man ball are just perusing down RNG's mid lane. There's nothing that can be done here. RNG, this isn't really much. There's not too much to say. I'm not gonna lie. There's not too much to say here. RNG are in a terrible position. They've dug themselves a massive 5k gold lead hole, and with that kind of gold, you can bury a 6-foot hole. You dig a 6-foot hole, and you just bury it right up top with 5k worth of gold. Now, situation as dire as it is, they do have some potential because again, they outscale in the bot lane. Yeah. They are skill on the bot lane only, I suppose, as Gala nearly gets absolutely one-shotted in this situation. Icon is not even scared enough to be forced to distortion back, and as a result, nearly dies. Actually does get taken out by Ming eventually, so I suppose the deaths of both Crying and Xiaohu were not for nothing, as they do trade the mid lane off as one of the shutdowns that was available. The next shutdown, of course, is on Light and Tarzan. Tarzan probably the more likely one that you're going to secure, despite the fact that he does have his martial cadence and will be able to just use his ultimate to tank out most of your damage, because Crying's not doing damage right now. Xiaohu needs people to get low to do damage, but no one on the side of RNG does enough damage to get anybody low. It's an unfortunate situation to say the least, as now Tarzan, level 12 to level 13 of Xiaohu, steps into RNG's jungle, stealing away the Krugs right before Xiaohu's very eyes. Dragon is spawning in under a minute, as is that's Baron at this point. Yep, S is Baron. But it looks like LNG not even going to use Rift Herald down towards the bot lane. There's a ping, assist me ping in the behind of Tarzan and Ali. There's a double TP available. Xiaohu just waiting for his teleport, I suppose, as in comes one TP. That's crying. We'll have Paranoia. Xiaohu jumping onto Ali. A very one-sided fight as Ali out of mana, out of options, out of escape path. Still has ultimate, nearly wins the fight. What the hell is that champion? Honestly, what the heck? He nearly won that fight. What? He started at nothing. Okay, I don't even know. But LNG, what can they get back? Looks like they're gonna have to give up this dragon at least. So not soul point pressure onto RNG. But it's still 15 seconds until it spawns. Ali will be alive in 22. Does have teleport as well. So does Icon, in fact. So Icon can get some nice chip damage now onto the top tower, getting a recall off, and will be able to participate in this fight. In fact, so will Ali, I think, if they don't kill it immediately. They've got 10 seconds to kill it. As in comes Icon, teleport is available. Looks like this dragon will eventually fall, but looks like LNG are looking for a fight as Rift Herald is dropped as well. Flash in with the anchor toss as Wei drops a very nice equalizer, actually splitting up the entirety of the team. Icon falls over the wall. It's a 5v3 as well as a 5v1 on the other side. Xiao is left high and dry, absolutely abandoned by his team as in comes Icon with the double distortion in. Ali's in the fight as well. Looks like they've got enough chase as in comes Ali. Wei turning onto Icon, trying to get a kill, does not manage to get one. It looks like this is the end of the game as RNG are being routed, chased back to their base. Only survivors are Ming and Gala yet again, and as a result, LNG can claim Baron for themselves. Baron's been alive for barely any time. Ali just looking to try and pick off whatever scragglers possible. If Gala is a bit low on mana, needs to be careful, but he's spotted out by the minions. As Gala takes a detour now towards bot lane. Rift Herald is still going down there, by the way. And no member of RNG seems to be inclined to rotate into that area. Xiaohu does have teleport, but Crying does not. He could potentially look to teleport into that ward in top Tribush, but it looks to be the first time ever I have seen an LPL team, despite being horrendously down in terms of manpower, still not opt to attempt and contest Baron. But really, things are just catastrophic for RNG here. As they lose the fight, they only get Dragon. They lose bot tower to a Rift Herald that was dropped in bot river. I mean, it's about as bad as it gets. This. It ain't pretty. It ain't pretty. It for sure ain't pretty. Is now Crying, nearly face checking into Ale, and you know for a fact that's not someone you want to face check into. You just see how much sustain that champion has with 0 mana. Imagine actually casting spells. As you see here, nice little call from LNG, just opting to go in and waste equalizes, splits the team, goes for Icon for some reason. I thought it was pretty decent at first, but really RNG just have nothing. They don't have any damage. Crying is not an option. Xiaohu, if he's the one to start the fight, he's absolutely doomed. And see, just Crying can't do anything. Crying has been a non-factor this game, as Wei knows there's no escape from Ale as well as the rest of the team as well. There's nothing much to say in this, as Gala now, the only one with mobility, the only one who kind of does damage in this fight, but there's just too many things to hit, there's too many things to auto, Mystic Shot, Arcane Shift away from, and True Shot, Barrage Sweep, I suppose. As, you know, again, RNG do have avenues for comeback. There's still the comeback mechanic of having a Viego to possess souls. If he gets Ale in a fight, I think LNG are in trouble. But really, what are the odds of killing Ale? And Ale even has Zhonya's at this point. In a 1v1 situation, Ali's gonna shred Xiaohu to pieces. In a 1v2 situation, he's gonna shred the other person. 1v3, he can probably take that too. And all the while sitting in the comforts of his W, not allowing Gala or Ming to participate in the fights at all. Things are looking kind of grim, I'm not gonna lie. But let's just see what goes. It's a champion's mentality. RNG, never say die, never give up. Oh, in comes the siege. Icon just skulking around the side. Nice equalizer dropped onto Light, actually, busting him out completely, as Tarzan in the backline is a bit low as well. In they go. They fly straight in. Tarzan and LNG starting this fight with half HP, somehow turning it right onto Gala. Catastrophe strikes. Now, an ultimate did go down, but still no one's been possessed. Every member of LNG is still alive. Catastrophe! Absolute catastrophe. LNG just team fighting so fantastically. And RNG, that was the best chance to win a fight. That was absolutely it right there. If there ever was going to be it, that was it. And this game is over. It has been for a while. Ming trying his best to clear the waves as much as possible, trying to flash away from Icon, allowing his route to land. But the rest of LNG doesn't seem to need... Oh, I take it back. I think Ming just saved the game. But really, for how much longer? It's a valiant attempt, for sure. Valiant attempt. As he looks like he's going to pay for it with his life right now. No, Ming with the fancy feet. You can't touch this, I suppose. Oh, what can you say? I mean, I really wonder what the communications are like for the players at this point in time, because you kind of know it's doomed. Like, what is your win condition? Look at this beautiful equalizer, chunking Tarzan and Light to half HP. Really, every member of LNG starting this fight with half HP, and then Gala jumping in just gets absolutely jumped on. Look at that hook, absolutely eliminated, absolutely decimated, and we can't say anything because Gala really is the only hope for his team, and he's just doing what he needs to be. You need to make risky plays. Sometimes you just need to make risky plays when your team is so far behind, and if your enemy team can capitalize on that, if they can find the avenues to make the plays, what can you do about it, really? At this point in time, it's not even his fault. He's the only hope, and he's doing his best. We can't say anything about it. Now Xiaohu is playing a bit aggressively. Teleport is coming in behind them yet again, but Tarzan looks to be in position for a flank as the Heartbreaker comes in. Stun does go out onto Ale's tanking a little bit of damage. Paranoia does come down. Looks like Gwen is severely out of position and will not be able to stay in. Look at how low Wei is. He just nearly incinerated him with just his Q and his ultimate. Zhonya's wasn't even available for Ale at this point in time. Now, Dragon is available, but RNG know that in a 4v5 situation, in fact, this is deja vu. The teleport behind yet again, Infernal Dragon, Ale did, as the equalizer and the Trisha Barrage comes in, nearly stealing away, but I would say that was nearly impossible. Tarzan, an absolute reliable source of smite. An absolutely reliable smite there, sorry. Whew. Now, I guess our LNG just gonna play it slow, not want to risk anything. At this point, they've managed to get so far ahead that they don't need to worry at all about being far behind. They just need to wait for Baron spawn in a minute and 30 seconds, allow RNG to soak up this mid-wave pressures, 9,000 gold in favor of LNG. 3 dragons to 1, 7 towers to 1. The only tower that has fallen is the bot lane tower. And now a little bit of a play is attempted to be made down here by both Wei as well as Xiaohu. But they are the two team fighting tools of RNG, and LNG, sensing a little bit of weakness, are just pushing through top lane. No patience required, I suppose. No need to wait for Baron. Just continuing to poke and prod at RNG's defenses as Gala stepping forward aggressively yet again. Needs to be careful again. But I mean, what can you do? What can you do? Oh my god. Oh, death kept coming in for Icon. Gala does have a Hex Drinker, so he does have a little bit of hope. If I were him, I'd finish that Hex Drinker into a straight maul before even getting the Frozen Heart, because really, light is not at all going to be a problem for you. Tarzan is, I mean, a snowball LeBlanc, guys. What's there to say about that? Nothing much to cast there, as Wei is just absolutely blown out of his own cockpit by the power of a death-capped 4-item, 10 Dark Seals stacked LeBlanc. As LNG full attendance at the Baron pit, not even trying to send someone down towards bot lane. Ale can definitely stop that push if he chooses to, but realizing that RNG do have the capacity to attempt for a team fight. What am I saying actually? As Ming, a heal coming out from Gala, and the exhaust still nearly dying through the heal as well as the exhaust. Icon by himself is having the time of his life. He's really never had a game quite like this, I do believe. It is his most played champion, so we can't bash it. We can't say anything about it, but I don't think he's had so much success on this pick in the competitive scene. This is pretty much a game of solo queue for him, as he can just run around with his team, even without his team at this point, and just look for picks. As in comes what looks to be the final push of LNG, as the hook hits something but doesn't manage to finish him off. Xiaohu forced to flash away from that as well as use his ultimate. He has nothing left for the team fight. No member LNG comes. Oh my god, Galania flashing into a hook as the last stand comes in. Ultimate coming in onto Wei. Paranoia comes in as well. Equalizer was not dropped before the Zhonya's. Wei's not even going to be able to drop it. Still hasn't dropped it. Still not dropping it. Use it on somebody quick, as looks like I wonder no doesn't get taken down. And what was the kills in that game? Let me see. I think it was legitimately 2 kills. It was 5-19. 5. Oh my god, LNG destroy them. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's nothing much to say about that. It wasn't even fun to cast, honestly, because LNG. I mean, okay, you can't say that. I mean, I know RNG they're just experimenting, they're just trying, getting their synergies right, and a loss is never a easy thing to swallow. But I think it's safe to say that LNG were very much in control of that game. Don't want to take anything away from their win. Also, don't want to take anything away from RNG's attempt, because RNG, I think, no team wants to int it, right? No team wants to be ridiculed or made fun of, and they definitely tried something. They tried something, didn't really work out. Gala today is a little bit off. Just in general, most of the players, I think, a little bit out of sync. Just wasn't their day. It wasn't a hot day, and that's fine. Can always bounce back. That's the beauty of this nice long split. Now you might, the beauty in fact of not having double round robins is that you won't ever have to fight LNG again, who for some reason coming into the split are looking hot as anything. EDG and LNG right now are looking absolutely untouchable by either team. I'm not quite sure what it is about them, but they're doing it. They're doing it up, and they're doing it up in style. And I guess that's all there's to say, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I guess we'll see ya.